I don't know about you, but like, okay, let me ask you a question. Would you rather make $5,000 working 160 hours, or would you rather make $4,000 working 20 hours? This side. Right. So the overall money isn't the goal, but increasing our hourly rate in a really intelligent way, that's the goal. Right? That's the whole point of why people start businesses, because it allows them to leverage their time. That is a win, right? Right? That's a huge win, because now you can scale it. Because now you can get another client. And another client, that's another 2,400. Another client, that might be another 1,000 or 1,500. But you're giving up the short term, but you're getting a huge win in the long term. Because in the long term, over the course of a year of you actually doing this and actually making sure your clients are getting good results, managing them, getting testimonials, and completing the whole project, what it could look like is you're profiting $4,000 a month, okay, profit, $4,000 a month or $2,000 a month, whatever it may be. But what I want you to think about, what's important, is that it's taking up almost none of your time, right? Normally you would spend 40, 80, you would spend about 160 hours making this much income. And you go from 160 hours to, let's say, 5 hours of work per week, 5 times 15. You go from 160 hours to 20 hours. You understand? So let's do the math on this. 4,000 divided by 160 hours, that's $25 an hour. Now, let's go $4,000 divided by 20 hours. Do you see that your hourly rate is actually really, really high? Right? Your hourly rate is $200 an hour. Right, so basically this is what it means to leverage your expertise and your time for something. I mean, so always be thinking in terms of your hourly rate of what you're doing. When I send out an email to a lot of people on our email list, and then I make a YouTube video or whatever, there's a lot of leverage there that I have, because there's a lot of people at the end. So the 1 hour of my time in that case is actually worth a lot more, you see? So this is the leverage that you want to be able to get. And honestly, this is what I did. I hit up equivalent of MeHi. I hit up another developer. I hit up a few developers, and I would just say, you need to have a job posting, otherwise you can't hit them up. But if you have a job posting, you just hit them up and you say, hey, this is the project I'm working on. Let's just set up a 5-minute call. And so with each person I would get on a 5-minute call with. After about 3 or 4 interviews, I had hired 2 developers. And those 2 developers were working on lots of my freelancing projects. I go all in on business and business sense. Like business, I love more than anything. I love people more than anything. So coding, as much as I love software development, as much as I actually love coding, because I do really enjoy it, I get lost in it when I'm doing it, I actually enjoy this interaction you and I are having right now, Tony. And I enjoy the interactions like I'm having with every person in this group way more than I enjoy actually sitting on my computer and coding. So at the end of the day, think about how crazy that is. My business is doing well, not because of coding. It's actually doing well because of humans and people, right? All of the businesses that anybody goes on to build have to deal with people and humans at the end of the day, and we forget that at some level. So as long as you're like connected with people and humans, you can start a business in almost anything and be pretty successful. The whole point of me sharing, hey, start documenting your coding journey, like, I don't care if you start documenting your fucking learning how to cooking journey, you know, or like starting to play golf journey, or whatever journey you want to document, traveling to places. It's hard to meet up somebody in Hong Kong journey, like whatever it is, But the most important thing is building a habit of sharing these things, putting it out there, like putting value in the world, and then over time you see the difference that happens and you get people behind you, and then you can actually turn that into anything. I think that real estate is really old, right? And stock market is really old, and people understand those concepts really well. That's why everybody's trying to put their money in 401k. They're trying to put their money into like some kind, buying a house, right? And a lot of these things, because these things are understood from like thousands of years ago. What I think people are not understanding is that there's incredible, like those are physical assets, right? Those are physical assets. But I think the world is heading towards lots of digital assets. Okay, yeah, house is not your asset, it's nice. So we're heading towards where there's insane amount of power in digital assets. Each digital asset could serve you for the rest of your life. Like for example, take some, like Abdullah made a video today on something about turtles, right? On coding, and it's on YouTube, and maybe he made it a few days ago, whatever. The point is that that will serve as asset and it'll provide value to people, because the point of a house is that it provides value to a person or value to people. His coding video over time will provide value to people, and imagine how much value it would provide 10 days from now, 50 days from now, 1,000 days from now, 4 years from now, 10 years from now, 30 years from now. I have a feeling that it'll provide, a lot of that stuff will provide way more value than almost any real estate that you could purchase would provide. Built up, it provide more value to the world than any amount of real estate, because people will, if you have real estate, you'll have like 2 people physically living in there. That's great, you're helping 2 people. This, he could help 1,000, 10,000, 50,000, or 1,000,000 people over the course of 1 to 20 years. So logically, it just makes sense, as he's providing more value to the market, he's gonna get some of that value back, right? The thing that started clicking in my mind when I started doing YouTube was like 1 day of my time, and then it would say 10 days of people's watch time. And I'm like, holy crap, it almost felt like I was time traveling. Like 1 day of my time could move the world forward by 10 days time. And then eventually it was like 1 day of my time could move the world forward by 50 days of time. So then it's just if I'm providing people 10 years of value with 1 year of my effort, it only makes sense that my income will go to what my income will be in 10 years in 1 year. You see what I'm saying? So that's kind of my thoughts on like lots of the digital assets, and that's why I even say I have different opinions on this, but I think for me, I personally would go a lot into digital assets, creating things and documenting what I'm learning wherever I am in my life, because I know those will serve and provide value forever, and they're super lean. It doesn't need any investment. Like, I don't have to put down, or if you made a video, Tony, you don't have to put down $200,000 to buy a video, right? You can actually just put out a video today for free without putting any money down. So it's kind of some of my thoughts on that. Or you fuck up. If you're fucking up twice as much as the other person's fucking up once as much, in a year, you will learn the things in 6 months of your time that'll take the other person 1 year. Add that over a long period of time, 1 year, now you're saving a year, right? So I think it starts to add up, and it has helped me a lot when it comes to coding. So Ratatype, and then actually also using Vim. I don't know if you guys know Vim, but if you want to be a ninja in coding, go down the rabbit hole of Vim at a certain point. Like, go down that rabbit hole at your own risk.